right, get in here as soon as you can. This sounds crazy. What's going on? I got a special situation that I want to talk to you guys about here tonight. So y'all make sure y'all log on right now. I mean, make sure you hit the like button. It's late. I apologize. But there's a situation that just broke in Georgetown County. In Georgetown County, situation that's going on. It ties into something that I've been talking about how unsafe children are, and um, children and females are in Georgetown County. Georgetown County is known for a lot of things, and unfortunately, a lot of those things aren't good. One being fentanyl, and another being the number of assaults against children. Again, I did a whole piece on it. I will share it. But right now, breaking right now in Georgetown County, and let me get this thing here shared out so more people can come on in here. Can come on in here. And I have read the article. That's going to be my new thing now, you know. The article has been read. So you guys come on in here. You see this guy on the screen, and let me read what's going on here, bring you guys up to date. Breaking news. An incident that happened around the time of the Georgetown County Sheriff's Office polar plunge has resulted in criminal charges against a former sheriff's office investigator. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division said 40-year-old Everest Henry Carrison II was charged on Tuesday with a count of first-degree sexual assault and battery. Excuse me, assault and battery. The sexual part is not on there. Assault and battery. According to SLED documents, Carrison and the victim were both drinking when Carrison offered to give them a ride to Horry County because of their intoxication level. Now, what was he driving? Carrison escorted the victim inside a room and reportedly stayed for over an hour. The warrant states Carrison with lewd and lascivious intent entered the victim by rubbing them above and underneath their clothing. Where Carson allegedly rubbed the victim is redacted in the warrant. The warrant cites the victim's statements and video surveillance footage as evidence in SLED's investigation. SLED also said Georgetown County Sheriff Carter Weaver requested the agency's assistance on February 5th to investigate the allegations of criminal sexual conduct involving off-duty personnel. According to SLED, Carson was booked into the W.J. Reuben Long Detention Center on Thursday. So they did not book him into Georgetown County. Here he is right here. And I've been, again, patrolling this, just caught on to it a few minutes ago. So it's all fresh, just like it's fresh to you, it's fresh to me. But here's some of the comments that's been, and I found these comments very interesting. Carter Weaver's finest, shaking my head. I'm curious to know why it took 4 months. And I remember it, and I did not report on it. I knew of the investigation from the earlier reports, but I just said, well, here's another one of these situations that's going quiet, and you again, let's connect these dots. You wonder why the situation with the pizza man in Andrews was not thoroughly investigated, and because they got these type folks on the staff, got this the enemy inside the gates. And again, just check out some of these comments right here. Um, Teresa Renee Etheridge in the ABC Post. I shared about it. They say they reached out to the Georgetown County Sheriff's Office when it happened, and were told the allegations were untrue. I remember that November 4. Now 4 months later, excuse me, now 4 months later, boom. I remember that because that's why I was, because it was they were trying to cover it up at that time. I remember that. All right, let's see. Gabriel Wallace says shocker. Uh, this is crazy. Then you wonder why this guy got. They just let a guy off who uh, impregnated a child, and that guy got off of probation. And you wonder what's going on in Georgetown County when it comes to that. And these kids aren't safe. Shanika L. Grant. So what was he protecting? We know that he was trying. We know what he was trying to serve. A little jokey joke. It's not a funny situation. Trying to serve Vienna sausages. Yeah, he. That's a cop. That's scary, guys. That's scary. Seems like all cases where he defended sexual predators should be re-examined. That's a good question. Because if he was the investigator, this was the guy that went out and investigated these cases. This is the guy that went out and investigated these cases. And what cases are we talking about, guys? What cases are so? Does this affect the cases that he already uh, prosecuted people on? Will these people now be able to be released because of this piece of garbage right here? Is that what happens now? And look at him. Got the parade, and he rode around like he was just the town bully, but he was a sexual deviant, and he was one of the top dogs at Georgetown County because he was an investigator. So what happens to all the cases that he's investigated? Because somebody that would do something like this, come on, man. Like, again, he's innocent, proven guilty. The person said it took 4 months, not 5 years. And also, let me drop this off right here too, because it seems as if you're conversing with a lawyer, they would, kind of in the state of South Carolina, this state, the state in which we're in, there is no statute of limitation. Period. So that's just the facts. There is no statute of limitation. And I'm kind of drifting back off into something else, but let me stick to this right here. Um, how many victims? It only said one victim in that piece right there. Okay, enough. Let them discipline their own. Really? That's like these interagency investigations that happen when these in agencies investigating themselves for wrongdoing, and nothing's supposed to go wrong there. Nothing, nothing to see there. Them question: was there more than one victim? And again, that's the confusing nature of a Scott Harper article. Okay, and I don't see where he came on here to try to clear it up. They are supposed to protect and serve, not harm. I agree with you, Peg McClellan. Champ Myers says shocker. And I can tell you why Champ Myers is saying shocker. And we're not going to be on here long, guys. It's late, but I wanted to get this in the ethers, get it recorded, and get it down. Again, we were dealing with a situation that came front and center to me in Andrews, South Carolina, and everybody was wondering, well, why weren't any charges brought against this guy? As obviously he was trying to groom this little girl across social media. Well, the reason why no charges came because of this guy. This is who, for all intents and purposes, did the investigation. This was around over 4 months ago. Remember, a little over 4 months ago, right around the time of the election back. So you talking about 6 months? Where we at now? About seven. But this would have been the guy. This was Lane Cribb's guy. This is the guy that rode around, um, with the tough guy shades on. But the reason why that gentleman said shocker is because, let me get here and see if I can find. This is stuff that I did before talking about this situation and how um, children in Georgetown County. Okay. Now, keep in mind what the investigator was just charged with, right? Keep that in mind as we roll through this list that I've shared with you guys before, about how unsafe the children are in Georgetown County. Okay. And if the police officers, if the investigators, the person that's supposed to be standing in the gap, supposed to be protecting and serving. Again, like they said, what was he trying to serve? Some Vienna sauce. And these are just cases that from the last, I think I went back to 2019, 2018 in Georgetown County, just illustrating the point that you could be, your child could be a victim in Georgetown County of a sexual assault and nothing will happen. Okay. And nothing will happen. Now, I wonder how many of these cases, now this guy here has been taken to Baltimore. That's a youth pastor. And they just had a youth pastor and a female youth pastor in King Street assaulted a young man. Now, how many of these cases is this guy investigating? And will these people now be able to come home on appeal? Well, this guy right here is already home. This is the guy who I was just telling you guys about. See right the headline right there. Man impregnated a 13-year-old and receives no prison time. That's Georgetown County right there. That's Georgetown County right there. And now I'm starting to believe, because one thing the sheriff would say is that all they could do is bring these guys to the prosecutor and solicitor or whatever, and then they can't handle they don't they don't deal with sentencing. And he's very true, very correct. He's very correct. He's correct in what he's saying. The only problem is with what he's saying is that the only problem with the sheriff, and I'm sitting here speculating. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm kind of just wandering off in my words. But this guy right here, top dog down there in Georgetown County, an investigator. This is the guy who they would send out if you or your daughter or your child or yeah were a victim. This is the guy who they would send out, and this is the guy who charged and let go because of this situation. Maybe he'll sue them because they're firing him. So Again, that's why this is important. June 15th, Friday, June 15th, Andrews first annual Jones Avenue Community Park presents a men's accountability. Gonna be a lot of tough conversation day. It ain't gonna be no brow beating and you need to do this and you need to do that. But we need to come up with plans and have a purpose beyond the responsibilities of our immediate purpose, which is our families. So we need more Jimmy Giles and Junior Ford and Mr. Charles Session and men like that coach little league baseball for years and years and years and that kind of thing. But what's going on, Lane Crib, man? And nobody's or is somebody running against him, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything from that candidate, which he doesn't have to really get crunk up until after the primary on the 11th. But Georgetown County Sheriff investigator arrested for being a weirdo, and it doesn't state whether. And I'm sure that's part of that report what he was driving. Apparently, he was driving a Georgetown County police car. Around that same time, they had was it another investigator or was it this guy that ended up getting pulled over by another deputy? He was drunk, and so there you go, another uh, thing that keeps coming up with this sheriff's department is apparently they're and the polar plunge that they're talking about is a big event, at the big PR event that the sheriff puts on, where they go in February. Of course, in February it's cold, but they go and they do this plunge into the ocean, and so it's a big thing. If you go on the Georgetown County Sheriff Department's page, you'll see it advertising, especially around that time of year after Christmas. Is a big thing, and with all of that going on, this guy decides he wants to go play rubby with somebody. He's the investigator. So the question is how many other people he did that to, and they weren't able to get their story out because he's sitting right there on the on top of the information. Sitting right there on top of the information. Gatekeeping. I'm talking about locking people up. That's the answer right there. That's the only explanation, because people kept asking me, well, why didn't they lock him up if he did everything you said he did? And all you did is show the text and everything. Then why didn't they lock him up? Here's why. That's why. So they can't keep dope outside of the jail, to the point where the last incident where this young lady lost her life, an inmate coming in to do weekend time brought fentanyl from the street, placed it on the counter during the time she was being checked in to do her weekend time, was able to pick the dope up off the counter, wrapped in candy wrappers, and take it inside the jail, and a young lady lost her life. Couple weeks after that, more drugs found inside of the jailhouse, inside of the jail. Of course, you know about this creep right here. You see it on the screen, what he did to a 14-year-old child and was allowed to walk free. Think about that. This person's in charge of investigating things like that, and he thought it'd be okay to do something like that. It's a lot to think about. Anyway, y'all make sure y'all go vote. Georgetown County, Williamsburg County. There it is. Bang. Then just say go vote. That's what it is right there. All right. So I will bring you more on this story once I figure out more. Gonna have to do some research on this one right here because again we got the propaganda version of the story. You know what I mean? Because the one thing our sheriff does not stand for, and he's not gonna look bad. Okay. He's not gonna be out here looking bad. So y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, but bro ain't going out like that. He ain't going out like no punk. So, but if nobody runs against him, how will anything ever change? Anyway, you know what it is. Get in the comment section. Like, share. Go follow us over on Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, everything. Welcome to Ninjas Podcast, Instagram. Screen, the bottom of the screen, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, it says contact Black Diamond Princess. If you or somebody you know has been a victim of sexual assault and they need some help, some guidance, some just some answers, some place where they can go get resources, some people to talk to, you guys make sure you pass that number along, and it's 843-543-4690. That is Black Diamond Princess, and that's for men or women that find themselves in a situation. Make sure you make that call.